goalbuddycast. Goalbuddycast. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Full Buddy Cast presents Goalbuddycast.
Ta-da!
With Adam Kenney.
Hello.
I thought you wanted to do another ta-da.
Ta-da!
We got Sara Johnson. Sara Johnson's, we're going to call her, bring her in. She's in Seattle right now, working hard. Hardly working.
We're going to call her in.
She's fired. Pink slip.
Fire her.
Fire her. She's done. But this was her and Adam's brainchild of a podcast. We've been releasing these every Wednesday, first Wednesday of every month, doing this for a few months now. In these episodes, we talk about, like, what did you do, like what did you do this past month and what are you looking forward to doing this month? We also have habit trackers we talk about where we're tracking what we're doing to kind of help accomplish some goals. And then these goals are not like year-long goals that we're going to try and figure out. These could be like short term, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
could be fun things, could be things to self-improve, whatever. It's just something that you want to do. You know, we come from a generation right now, we live in a world where there's a lot of stuff going on and some people just feel like they get overwhelmed. And I think setting some goals and realizing that everybody else is in the same sort of boat as you, it's helpful. It's helpful to just try to accomplish things and find ways to streamline aspects of your life.
And with that said,
yes,
we're also going to, in these episodes, we talk about our own, and then we also will read a few things that some listeners are sending us, their achievements as well, their struggles, all of that. And you can send these anonymously. A few people sent this, hey, I want you to read this, but I don't want to cause any, like one person talked about their health. That was a scare this month that they just found out. So that's a goal for them. But they don't want people knowing about it yet because it's not Facebook official. There's still stuff going on. So, and other people just like, I've got one person I want to, this is a thing for us to think about, that absolutely hate goals. They hate them. They absolutely, because they feel like they're not in control of them. Sure. And so I want to talk about that aspect of it as well. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and kick off and jump right in. Adam, why don't you go ahead and lead us off with
So I'll talk about what I did what my goal was last time.
Yeah.
So my goal last time was to start creating it. We've talked about habits, habits, and I was reading through Atomic Habits, and one of the things I wanted to do was starting to journal a little bit. And so what I did was I made it a goal to, the first thing I do in the morning when I get to work is I open my computer and I just write for about 10 to 15 minutes. And sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes because, depending on what's going on or whatever. And what I found was it was a very easy habit to sort of create and it or sort of initiate because it gave me something creative to do in the morning. Because that's kind of how I viewed it. It was like, this is like a creative writing class, essentially, where I could just pour out some thoughts. I don't even have to be like, okay, this is what happened yesterday. And, it's not a journal in that sense. It wasn't like, oh, I really want to save this for posterity where I can look back on it. It's more like, I just want to get some thoughts out, process some things. And so some days I didn't really have a whole lot to process. So yeah, I found that to be very, very helpful for me to sort of cleanse my mind and think a little bit deeper. Because once you get it down on paper or on the computer or whatever, all of a sudden it's visual, it's tangible, and you're like, okay, wait, I haven't been thinking about this through as fully as I could. And so then that kind of helps me to then start to process those new thoughts and say, okay, go ahead.
Sorry. So when you're journaling, are you using like an actual journal? Because it sounds like sometimes when I break down things, we've done this in the past, breaking down stories, writing little things, getting some note cards out or maybe some sticky notes. Yeah. Are you like writing down this in like a linear fashion of like, and then crossing out, wait, I want this to be number 2, and are you moving stuff around? Like,
no, because I'm not really making lists, and I was kind of advised. So first of all, I use a computer. I just have a Google Doc. I have a Google Doc, and I'm kind of getting into it to where it would be really cool to get a typewriter at some point and just like old-fashioned typewriter on paper, because then I can just I can shred it or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I don't have to save it on the internet. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of advised to be like, don't make this a journal where you're making lists and you're like trying to organize your life. More so just process some different aspects of, just write down kind of what's coming to mind and what's been happening. And the sort of the like life kind of provides its own prompts and then you just kind of write about it. I don't know. So everybody could do it their own way. Sometimes I do a list if I'm feeling inspired to be like, okay, I really want to do this or do that and then organize this part of my life. But usually I'm just kind of like recapping something that kind of happened or recapping a thought or talking about like what my plans are for the day. There's no real, structure. No like perfect structure to it.
Right.
Yeah. So it was good. I felt like it was really good for me, and it's something that I'm going to continue doing for the time being. I enjoy it because it kind of clears my head. I'm not constantly having these thoughts kind of run through my head. I can just get them out. So that's been good. And then diving into what my goal is for this month, or what I really want to do this month, is I was watching some videos. It kind of came up in my feed, some health videos. There's this guy, his channel is called Hybrid Calisthenics. Mm-hmm. He's a health guy, but he's not like, hey, let's get big and strong and let's do this and that. He's just like looking at life kind of more holistically of like this what you eat affects your body, and what your body does, affects the way your body, or what you do with your time and effort affects your body as well. Because if you sit around all day, your body's going to get used to sitting around, and it's going to want to sit around, and it's going to make whatever it needs to do to just sort of store energy or whatever. But like if you are moving around, your body recognizes that, whatever. So he was talking about posture, and I have really bad posture. We've talked about this since we were kids, that both of us kind of sometimes have a question mark posture. Yeah. Where our body our shoulders curve forward, our hips kind of jut out. And I found out that hip thing, I think it's really bad for my back and really bad for my legs. I have very weak thighs. I have strong calves, weak thighs, weak glutes, and strong hamstrings.
Clear eyes.
Big hearts.
Whatever
that is. Yeah. I never really watched that, but yeah. Dry eyes.
No thoughts. Or no thighs.
No thoughts.
No thighs. Huge calves.
No thighs. Big calves. No butt. Big hamstrings.
Giant brain.
But my hips jut out forward, like when I usually stand, and that's called anterior
decorating.
Anterior decorating. No, it's called. I knew what this is called, and now I don't remember. But it's something where your anterior pelvic.
It is 95 degrees in here, everyone. Just so you guys know.
So I am having a fever dream. I'm imagining Travis is here. I'm not sure, but anterior pelvic, whatever. It's basically like your muscles aren't balanced.
Okay.
So I know this is weird, but I sit around a lot with my job, and there are muscles, your hip flexors, that get really, because you sit around all the time, they start to get like more condensed. And then when you stand up, that basically makes your pelvis want to jut outwards in the wrong direction. That's the theory anyways, or that's what they say. And so they say to strengthen your glutes, don't stretch your hamstrings, and just try to like do some posture exercises and stretches, and that should fix it. And so basically my goal for this month is to try to fix that aspect of me, of my body, by doing daily stretches that should help that. Like my back hurts me, and my
here's what I'm thinking. Why is this funny too? I thought you were going to say pelvic thrusts. No, I thought you were going to do a bunch
daily pelvic thrusts.
I think it was a lot of new kids on the block dance around and do pelvic thrusts the entire time.
There is a little bit of that to some of these stretches, but I'll have the windows shut.
I do like the fact that you're working on your pelvis is your goal for June.
Listen, a pelvis is different than other aspects. Okay. So
that's so funny because I'm working on my pelvis.
Are you really?
No.
If our pelvises combine,
no, that sounds horrible.
Efforts. Oh gosh,
gross.
Anyways,
Sarah Johnson just snort laughed if she heard that.
Anyways, so that's my goal. I just want to do some stretches, fix up my posture. Like my back has its own posture issues, like the upper back, but I think really my legs and my core could benefit from just realigning my pelvis and my spine a little bit.
It sounds like more like a doctor's thing than it does. You've said anterior pelvic thrust.
Gosh, I can't remember what it's called.
Anyway, okay, so let me move on to mine. But thank you, Adam, for working on your pelvis. Not many people have that goal. I wonder if anyone...
It's a really common issue.
I wonder if anyone has ever said, gosh darn it, with all the things in my world right now, I'm working on my pelvis the most.
Look, I organized my life. I organized my website.
Top 3. Your top 3. Some genie comes to you and says, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes. And you're like, all right, number 1, organize my life. Number 2, organize my website. Number 3, could you figure out this pelvis thing I got going on?
If you don't have your health, what do you have? But I decluttered. I did my website, which, by the way, adamcunningart.com. Do it. Go there. I have a shop. I have a whole new shop there. Seriously, I revamped it. It looks really good. And then I have I did my journaling, and I'm happy with that. Get off my butt.
Get off your pelvis.
Oh, gosh.
Get off my pelvis.
I have no butt, actually.
Get off my non-butt. Okay, so what I think mine was last time.
We were doing push-ups.
Push-ups, and let me just tell you, got a weekend and then just gave that up right away. So I'm still telling everyone I'm doing push-ups, but in reality, I don't think I've done a push-up in like 3 weeks.
So
is there a pelvic push-up that I can do?
Yes. No.
Oh, gosh.
No, I'm kidding. No, but that hybrid calisthenics guy.
Yeah.
He had don't act so bored when I talk to you about this, okay? Let me get back to my.
You interrupted mine.
Let me get back to my Toon Blast games.
That was Jamie, not me.
This hybrid calisthenics guy, he has a video called "You Can Do Pull-Ups." He has one called "You Can Do Push-Ups" because people feel like they can't, and some people can't. And he talks about the progressive way. Like some people say, well, if you can't do push-ups, just keep doing push-ups. You'll be able to do it. He says that's like saying, hey, you can't bench press, 200 pounds. Just keep trying to bench press 200 pounds. He's like, that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to ease into it. 100 pounds, 125, 150, build up to it. So he has this whole
hybrid calisthenics.
It's just like a 5-minute video where he talks about
hybrid calisthenics.
This sort of ramp up to doing push-ups well.
Got the hybrid calisthenics down.
You are really taking this seriously. I wonder why you only lasted a weekend on your push-ups. Gosh.
Thank you. I am going to look at hybrid, but I'm moving on from push-ups. That's what I'm saying.
Gold Toonie Blast. Shut up.
All right. So anyway, I failed at push-ups.
Let me hijack your goal.
I failed at my goal of push-ups.
So what's your failure this year?
This month? It's funny how I don't know if I wanted. Okay, so here's my real goal for June. I got the golf pass. I want to consistently break 100. Like consistently break 100. I'm really close. I've got to figure out my wedge. So that's my mini goal. And I think if I fix my wedge shots, that'll help me get to that 100 because I'm only a few strokes away from getting that 100, breaking that 100 consistently. So those are my 2 goals for golf. I got the golf pass, ready to roll. Also, what I've been doing is been playing with Jacqueline. I think I said that also like spending more time with the family. And Lauren Lilly posted something yesterday. 2 days ago, maybe today, that I liked, that said more people are more interested and focused on influencing those they don't know than looking to influence those that they do know. And that's actually a very true statement. So yeah, it's very true because when it comes to when you have your kids, I think Desi B posted this too. I actually read everyone the other things people post, and I've heard the saying before, the days are long, but the years are short. And that's what it is when you're raising a kid. That's what it's like when you're going through school. That's like what it is when you're going and working towards a goal, even probably, where it just feels like you're not getting anywhere in the day, the homework or the sleepless nights or whatever, and then and you're grinding out at a job maybe. But then you look back on it, and that was 3 years ago. We're hitting our 5-year anniversary for Full Buddy Cast.
Wow.
June, right? June 5th, I think. June 6th. And you're the first episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you look back on it and you think, man, I put a lot of time and effort. When I started out, though, I really didn't. What at that time I felt what was a lot of time and effort was me recording once every 2 weeks, and maybe finding an hour to edit it and then an hour, or whatever to upload it. And that was it. But now I'm recording all the time. I try to get a bank of episodes that I can have in my collection so I can get those put out on my downtime, so I can go take a week off, go to Vegas, or so that I can go go golfing more often, and I can just upload these. No big deal. So at that time, I'm thinking of, those are long days, but then you look back like, wow, that was actually really fast.
Yeah.
And people are surprised when I say, hey, my 5-year anniversary, like, what? It's been 5 years? Well, maybe you just heard about it, 6 months ago or a year ago, but yeah, it takes a long time.
That's crazy. And it's weird being the first guest on the first episode, because that, in a way, I mean, it has gone by fast, and I'm sure it's gone by faster for you, but that feels like a long time ago to me. It's sitting there in that room, like with your dinky little microphones.
Yeah, dinky.
And doing that, like that feels far removed from where we are right now, especially you with your podcast and me in life. Like, I hadn't even met my wife at that point.
Right.
I don't even know where I was at with work and stuff. Like, lots of things have changed between now and then.
Right.
And yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I guess for me, it's just keep things in perspective is a good goal, but to go, okay, I've got Jacqueline. She's going to start kindergarten this year.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Madden's going to be a senior when Jacqueline is a kindergartner.
Yeah.
Like, that is like the circle of life right there. School circle of life. So, anyway, it's pretty exciting.
That's very cool. So your goal is
just continue to be in the moment. Like, that was kind of my goal. So I've been playing like even 5 minutes to a kid. And that's the weird thing. If you're an adult right now, use that to your advantage if you're a parent of little kids. Because 5 minutes feels like an hour to kids, right? To us, it feels like it's just, I'm hardly putting any work in. But even just finding 5 extra minutes a day to go play catch, to go run around, to play tag, to jump, to be active, to read, like, that's what I'm finding. It seems like a drop in the bucket to me amongst the billion other drop in the buckets of 5 minutes that I've got this going on, that going on, this going on. I got, busy guy. But to that kid who's, young, that 5 minutes feels like, half hour maybe to him. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been trying to do. And then you can tell that they just kind of like glob onto that a little bit more.
I like that. Yeah. Cause I mean, just think about how special it was cause Dad worked a lot when we were kids, but he also coached and did all sorts of things like that. But it was always special when like we would be outside playing like wiffle ball or whatever. It was always special when Dad would come out and play with us, because that didn't happen all the time. Like, right. We were, our mom was always present.
Yeah.
And Dad was working, a lot, but
to take care of Mom.
Yeah.
So that right.
So when he was out there in the summer playing wiffle ball with us or something like that, that was
huge.
Cool. Yeah.
That was definitely huge. So so those are my goals. Let's call up Sarah Johnson now and kind of get her goals.
Okay.
And then we're going to read some of the listeners' comments. This is going to be a quicker goal, buddy. We're at about 15 minutes right now.
Cool.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. We've decided to cut you out of goalbuddycast. This is us just calling you and telling you you're out.
Okay.
You're just too busy for us.
I have no hobbies now.
These weren't hobbies. These were goals.
Okay, and I have no friends either. So
I know.
I don't talk to you guys, then I don't talk to anyone all month.
You're so busy.
You're busy. You're a busy beaver, and that is not an inappropriate HR comment. Okay, that is.
Please say a busy bee.
Ver. Adam's goal. Let me just give you the quick rundown, real quick. Adam, last episode, or last month was, and we talked about this. So we're bringing you in halfway. His was in May to get his website organized, and then after that, which he did, and then now his new thing is he's noticed his pelvis. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I have an anterior pelvic tilt.
So he's got a pelvic tilt.
So I need to do stretches and
so he's doing pelvic
exercises.
Tilts. So again, his top 3 so far has been get his life organized, get his friggin' website organized, and then get his pelvis organized.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there like repercussions down the line that could happen if you don't get your pelvis organized?
Yes. Yeah, my back would be really in a lot of pain, and it could really hurt my spine, and it affects the way in which I walk.
Oh. Yeah.
I have
a good one then.
Yeah, I have gigantic calves. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. I have huge calves, but my thighs are about like the size of a wrist.
Yeah. He's got an hourglass shape from the butt down.
Yes.
Anyways, so my goals, I ditched the push-ups after a week, but I did spend but I was spending time with my kids a little bit more, being in the moment, and then realizing that 5 minutes to me means like nothing. It's so small, but to a kid, if you tell them, hey, we're going to be at grandparents' house in an hour, they're like, oh my gosh, that's like a week. Time is so much longer to them. So that 5 minutes to them might feel like 20 minutes, a half an hour to them. So again, so small to me, big to them. And then I'm also focusing on golf this June. To be consistently under the hundreds, and in order to do that, I need to figure out my wedge, which I've started hitting for the first time this year. So a lot of the times I would be pulling out my pitching wedge, or it's like 400 degrees in our podcast room right now, and it's like wreaking havoc on my laptop. But we're good again. Okay, so give me the reaction to my golf.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm also working on my pelvis. Just kidding.
When I walk into that room in a month in Enumclaw, people are going to notice my pelvis.
That guy's pelvis is dialed in.
Pelvis.
I've never seen a pelvis like that before.
Will it be noticeable is that like?
I hope so.
More of an internal thing.
It's noticeable because it's totally posture related. So like if my pelvis is in its tilt like it is right now, like you can tell by my posture that I'm just not snapping it up very well. But
snapping it up.
But if I have it, if somebody's like snap it up, people, my posture is going to look a lot better because my pelvis is going to be aligned correctly.
Yeah, you're gonna be 6'8". We wouldn't even know. You've just been this curly Q spaghetti shape this entire time.
That'd be amazing.
Anyway. What did you do in your last month besides take on 12 jobs?
Yeah, I took on another job. So that's been, so I started a new job, and that's been really great. It's like Monday through Friday, and it holds me really accountable. So I'm like getting up early every day of the week. I still would like to get up earlier and hit the early yoga class because I did join a yoga gym. So that's a major plus. It's a hot yoga gym in Renton, and I'm really excited about it.
We're already kicking off a hot podcasting gym because it's super hot in here. We're podcasting, sweating droplets off of our bodies. Hot Pada. What do you think?
Hot Pada. Hot
Pada. So your new job at Fox's is Monday through Friday. I'm impressed. Is it hard to work the door?
No, they want to keep me outside.
I'm just kidding. So we don't have to talk about that, but you're enjoying it, or is it learning? Are you learning a bunch, or like what? How is it going?
Yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm the operations manager for a real estate team that's based out of Seattle and Edmonds. They're like more north, and I just work from home. It's really cool. It's nice to collaborate with people because I don't get that from Grass and Root. I'm just always like doing my own thing by myself with that. I really need to move my kitchen for Grass and Root and hire someone, but that's just, I just don't even know where to begin with that.
So here's a side note. This is not a jokey joke. This is a really real. I ran into your dad, boy, I tell you, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we were chatting it up, and he was telling me, because he helps you on Saturday, I don't know how often, but he really, he's not retired yet, but he really enjoys it. Like, he's like, how often does someone get to like spend time with their kid, grown up kid, and just get to spend that quality time with them? So I know that, what you're looking to and looking forward to, but I was just thinking of all those parents out there that have their grown kid that may live in another state or that may like be doing something and for whatever reason, the parent can't be involved. I thought, what a blessing that is to it sounded like to your dad to be a part of that. Now, I don't know about how you feel, maybe you feel whatever about it, but anyway, he actually had a good attitude about it.
Yeah, I'm actually really close with my mom and dad, and over the last year since he's been helping me so much, I've got so busy about a year ago, about 14 months ago, that I wasn't able to do it on my own anymore. And my dad just stepped up and has been helping me. And through COVID, I didn't want to hire anyone. I mean, it's just been so unknown. And so now that it's been a year straight of me being totally overwhelmed and not being able to do the work on my own, I'm feeling comfortable enough now that I can hire someone. And honestly, I do think that part of my resistance to making this move is that I won't get to hang out with my dad every Saturday.
Gotcha. Until you can somehow rope him into being a real estate agent in Seattle. And then...
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, but that would be funny. But that job is really cool. I get to help another business. I mean, because they too are a small business. They're than I am, but I help. It's email marketing.
All right,
she's faking this.
You're faking this out. You're cutting out. Wasn't
that important?
Okay. All right. So once you get done swimming, you sound like you're underwater. So I'm gonna we're gonna keep testing this out. What are your goals for June?
I want to do yoga 3 days a week in the morning at the 6 a.m. class.
3 days a week, 6 a.m. And that is located where?
It's in Renton.
Okay, so how far of a drive is that for you? Is that a 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive, 15-minute drive?
It's actually only about a 15-minute drive.
So is that going to be hard for you in the morning to get up? We're getting into that goal structure now.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be super hard for me to wake up. But the thing is that early morning is the only time I have to myself.
Mm.
The rest of the day, I don't always feel comfortable taking an hour and shutting my phone off. I've got just too many things on my plate right now. Yeah. So I have to do it in the morning. That's the only time that I won't get interrupted. But the problem is interrupting my sleep.
Yes,
in the morning.
Right.
I have to get up at at least at the latest 5:30.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
That's bad. So what time are you going to bed? Are you getting enough sleep?
What time are you going to bed?
I usually go to bed about midnight.
Oh yeah, that's going to be tough.
So I'm going to need to go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
So that I can get up earlier.
You have to start being an adult now. All right, cool. We will support you in that. I'm going to read some of these listener ones, unless you had more to add. I'm pulling those up while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so Veronica, listener for Full Buddy Cast, and Goal Buddy Cast, my goal is going to be to not drink so much and be more involved with my kids and work on my mental health.
Nice. That's good.
That's good.
That's a good one.
I think heading into the summer, that's a huge thing because I think we can get pulled away a lot with a lot of things, and so that's good.
And mental health right now is really, really big, especially as things are opening back up.
Yeah. So Big V, appreciate you on that one. Holly Graff, I need to get back to doing 3 Peloton rides a week. I just did 1, so I'm already ahead of the game.
Nice.
Also, my goal is to drink at least 3 of these full of water. She sent a picture of a giant tuba, which was weird that she would fill it up with water. No, it was a coffee, what are those things called? A growler? What's the coffee? A grinder? No, not a grinder. It's the cup. It's a cup of coffee. It's like the big. It's not. Is it a grinder?
I don't know.
Like a thermos?
It's like a thermos. I think they call it something like a sipper.
I have no idea what you're talking
You know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Is it like what? Is it insulated and
Yeah.
like you take it on walks full of wine too?
yeah. Yes.
like a Yeti type thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Yeti, but it's more like I think it's called a grinder. It's a pelvic. It's a pelvic.
Pelvic? Yeah, pelvic grinder.
She also said, can you add drinking my greens to my goal list? I'm just trying to be less of a piece of shit overall here. And then she said, what are your guys's? Well, you already listened to it, Holly. Adam's working on his pelvis.
Yeah. Just leave me be with my pelvis.
You guys, I have a question here. Drink her greens. She's not ordering from me.
I hear there's another.
What's she talking about?
I think it's called Take Back Your Greens. Take Back Your Greens. So I got a friend. She wanted to be anonymous on this, but yeah, Holly, what's up? Order from the master. Honestly, my only goal this month is to pray for a clean bill of health. Had a little scare at an imaging appointment, and I have to go in for a biopsy this Thursday. Should have my results back early the following week, but it's scary to think how quickly life can change.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just focusing on keeping calm and plugging away at my garden and my housework and other things. And so...
Cut them off. Cut those boobies off and get fake ones.
Well, that's what it is. It could be... She could be having a pelvic issue too. We don't know. But not to make a joke about it, but we are thinking about... I did send her, hey, I got you on that. Did you want to make this anonymous? She said yes. I said, I'll be praying for you. And so will we. Please keep me posted. Keep us posted. So hope that everything works out well there. Hopefully we'll have an update by next month as well for that. Got another friend. Homer Robertson says, fishing goals to catch a bass, which is weird why he's catching food or catching musical instrument out of a lake. Catching bass this summer. Also to catch a salmon out of the Puyallup River. Hunting goal is to get a turkey and harvest an elk and record more video podcasts. So
I wonder if he's a hunter.
I don't think he is.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he is. It's weird. He also
maybe
didn't mention...
is that bowling terms? He's going to get a turkey?
Yeah, he didn't mention drinking his greens either. Jared Skelly says, my goal is to pass my 01 electrical exam on the first attempt, and later this year, my big goal is to repeat as Bentley Casino's champion. Nice. Now, the Bentley Casino's champion, Bentley Casino is fantasy football with the Bentley brothers.
Okay.
So I do enjoy these candid ones.
Those are good.
I also got another one here, anonymous as well, that this person is writing a book. And they've been, I think when you say you're going to write a book, you kind of want to like stay anonymous a little bit because you're like, hey man, what if I don't finish this thing? And I told everyone I'm doing this thing.
Right.
But finish my writing book, lose weight for Florida, and start blogging.
Nice.
Which I think blogging is also working on your pelvis. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's anterior pelvic blogging.
Yep.
Well, we don't write a book wasn't Bobby.
And then the last one here, and I wanted to kind of hone in on this. This is Mark Herbert Schmidt. Good guy, great oldies. He's a guy that is on Full Buddy Cast quite a bit, and he's in that point where he feels like he doesn't do goals anymore. And I liked that. I liked how there might be someone out there that's like, you know what? I don't like goals. Forget goals. I'm done with goals. I've tried goals. They don't work for me. His main thing was that he feels there's too much out of his control to accomplish his goals. And what he means by that is like if he has work goals, it's always up to the person above him to promote him or give him that work. Now, he can work his hardest. He can get to work on time. He can really prove himself. But in all reality, it really does come down to that person who's above him. Now, if it's friendship goals, he wants to hang out with more friends or spend more time with more friends. Well, if they're not willing to spend more time with him, then it's not in his hands. Same thing with basically he feels no matter how willing I am, I'm limited to how much control I have over achieving them when other people are in the equation. He also has something from working out where he gets he likes to work out, but his skin gets irritated with his sweat and with the metal and with just that whole thing. And so it causes him not want to work out. So basically, lots of his goals are not solo goals. He shows interest, express it, and try to like make it work. But he feels that they're not achievable because they're out of his control. So, anything to add to that, guys? How would you tackle something like that?
Yeah, well, I would say that he needs to start digging and get to the bottom of why he's around people or doing things that they're not uplifting him. If there's like some type of barrier there, like, you know, maybe he needs new friends. Maybe he needs to find people that are into the same things as him, or, you know, like the list goes on and on. But same with the job. Maybe it's like every week or asking for a weekly or bi-weekly meeting with your boss so that you can learn what you need to do differently, what you need to work on so that you can get to the next level. But I think there's some things there, but I also think that, like, anytime you feel like your hands are tied, that there is resistance there. Otherwise, you would know you can, like, it's always possible. So it might not be on your time frame, but like, what's the resistance from?
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. And I totally understand the idea of like pushback against the idea of goals, because sometimes a goal is tough to define, and sometimes it's not measurable, or sometimes it's tough to actually put something together that you feel like you can make progress on, or sometimes you're thinking about goals in areas where you're not going to be able to see much headway, you know? And so I think like in our earlier episodes, talking about the idea of doing habits, usually sort of like personal, I don't know, measurable things you can do on a regular basis that might improve some aspect of your life, or it might bring you some sort of joy or some sort of fulfillment or satisfaction. Maybe it, you know, sometimes you just have to say, okay, well, you know, my goal, for instance, is to be a college professor, but I can't do that immediately. So what can I do to improve how I understand art? Or what can I do? Like, what sort of books can I read? Or what sort of activities can I, like, can I make more art? Or can I, whatever it is, like, sometimes you just have to redefine, I think, maybe what is a helpful goal versus what is or even more of a realistic goal versus what is a goal that is going to be really difficult to achieve because other people are involved. You know, I think that there is some truth to the fact that, like, sometimes you're limited. Like, we all have limitations, and maybe right now in this season, it's like, just keep your head down and do what you have to do, and don't worry about setting goals. And if that's taking a toll on your mental health or whatever, then maybe find some sort of a practice that can help you with your mental health and make that your goal. I don't know. I think that there's always something in life that we can focus on, and maybe it's not, maybe one person would define it as a goal and another person would just define it as a good thing for them to do or strive for. Some of it's down to semantics or definitions, I guess. I don't know. I think I kind of agree with Sarah of like, okay, well, if you feel like you're not making any headway with your goals, maybe there's something that you're just not noticing. There's something that you're not really thinking about that can kind of help you make that headway. Because there's always different options, right? One of the things that I like about Dave Ramsey is he says it's never just like an A and B. Think about all the options that are in front of you. Sometimes we get into this like it's either this or that, but there's always more options. So I don't know. I think you can usually make some sort of a goal.
Yeah.
That's so true. And I also think too, like if you like you're striving for a leadership position at work, like what are you doing outside of that? Are you reading leadership books? Or you could do like a leadership program online to get like a certificate, or are you taking on extra projects? Like there's what's in your blind spot? Because we have so many blind spots. What is in our blind spot? That's what like we always need to be looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at kind of the same thing. Myself with my blind spots, I'm looking at 2 of them right now. Just kidding.
Sarah's not even here.
Sarah's not even here. No, but I think Adam said it right, is that it does come down. Some people look at some things and go, well, that's just common knowledge. That's just common sense, I should say. That's just common sense. To do that is common sense. To make your bed is common sense. To take a shower every day is common sense. That's proper hygiene. But for some people, depending on where they're at in life, it's like a big deal to really accomplish those things. So I'm not a big fan, but I am a fan. I am kind of a fan, actually, but I'm not like, don't do this all the time. But priming the pump. And, if you have to put down like 6 things for yourself to do, write down one of those things as something that you just accomplished or that you're halfway through, so that it actually feels like you're getting something done, and it's going to create that motivation to keep it moving forward.
Yeah, and I think it can be super simple, right? Like, it doesn't have to be something where you're like, oh gosh, I have to like take stock of my life. You can just be like, okay, one thing I've never done is draw a picture, like, and actually try to take time to do it. Or one thing I've never done is go fishing at this one lake. Or one thing I've never done is go, take this hike up this mountain, this certain place. Like, that can be a goal. Like, just set something in front of you that just kind of makes you feel like by the end of it, you'll be satisfied with the result.
Right. Or you won't maybe not get all the way there, but you got really close and it really benefited you anyways.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Sarah, anything to add before we go?
No. Good luck this next month.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
You too. And we're excited. Now, it's just so your goal isn't like, hey, I'm going to lose this amount of weight. It's not that I'm going to get in this, I can do this pose. It's going to be just, I'm making it there 3 times a week. That's my goal.
Yeah, so I guess it's more about building the habit than the actual result, which I think I do better building a habit towards my goal than actually just looking at, like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. Like, that's not as rewarding, it seems like. That's the reward at the end. That's the treat, but it's the habit of me getting there and working for it.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll think about this going into our next episode next time. So journal some of this down, write this down. When you put it like that, I would like to discuss that more on the next one of saying, wow, I really built a habit. I maybe didn't reach my goal, but a habit that really benefited me, and I didn't even realize it even too. There could be times where you're like, man, I was focused on this one thing. I can't believe I got it. So I got this habit going.
That's good. I like it.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Have a great day. Get some rest. Get to sleep at 10.
10.
That's in an hour. All right.
Netflix is going to stop coming out with the good shit.
See, it's out of your control. It's out of your control.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not even in my control.
Freaking Netflix.
Okay, bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Take care. All right. So anyway, thanks everyone for listening. Hit us up in the DMs. Yeah. And then I would like to put 2 goals. One goal on you and one goal on Sarah when you're listening is to also reach out to maybe 4 people of your life that may benefit from this goal thing too.
Sure.
Because honestly, half the people I hit up, not half of them, but 2 of them were like, what are you talking about? Gotcha. I'm like, well, tell me about some goals that you're working on, and I'll talk about it on the podcast. Like, okay, cool. Here you go.
Oh, okay, cool.
So maybe tell them that too.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week, and take care. Stay blessed. And
you can do this.
KPLTZ45. You can do this. Goals. It's hot in here.
goalbuddycast. goalbuddycast. goalbuddycast.